thing. Moving right along, moving on with the show. That's the way we're gonna do. We're gonna do a little brief review, Jordan. We're gonna do a little movie review that will hopefully be at least 10 minutes long. about
All
the
you have to do to make sure that it goes that long
is to
is really draw out
emphasize
and
every
emphasize
syllable.
every single word that
Um,
you say.
yes, this is Hoppers.
I need your help. Mabel, I'm in the middle of class. A class that you are enrolled in.
Sup, Mabel?
Come with me. The traditional methods to understand animals just weren't working. But we've done it, Mabel. We created a revolutionary technology that gives us unprecedented access to the animal world. We call it hoppers. Huh? We put this into this. Yes, this into this. Mabel, be careful!
Robotic, this here will rock your body.
Whoa. And they were in the same den.
No.
I understand you.
What you doing, lady?
This is incredible!
Hey, what's your name, Beaver?
Babel?
You want to live here? You better learn pond rules.
What are pond rules?
Put the trailer in editing, Justin. I'll put the trailer in. You just saw part of the trailer, not the whole trailer, because that makes the video drag, but like some of the trailer, so you know what Hoppers. So it's really okay. So it's funny. I mean the title's still gonna be It's Just Avatar but with beavers, but it's not really. That really is kind of reductive characterization of this movie, because it's not really Avatar. It is Avatar up to a point, and then it very rapidly becomes not Avatar.
I mean, it is Avatar in its basic premise.
Yeah, in the basic premise of taking a person's brain and putting him in a thing.
Well,
It is
not even just so
Avatar in
much
that regard.
not even just so much that, but also, I mean, I don't know how much you remember of Avatar, but the principle of it was that they wanted to push an indigenous creatures or people out of an area so that they could
Yeah,
do
so
something
this is
in
kind
said
of the
area.
opposite of that. This
This
is bringing
this
them back.
is well, no, the
She's
entire point.
infiltrating is to bring
The entire point is that the mayor wants to push out the
No, but
animals so
what I'm
that he can
saying,
do a thing.
what I'm saying though is she's
So that is
infiltrating.
Avatar.
She is infiltrating. Yeah, but in Avatar he's infiltrating to help the pushing. And this is the opposite in the sense that she is infiltrating to
Sure,
hinder
but the
pushing.
greater scheme of what it is actually
Yes,
about,
its
of
basic
pushing
premise is basically Avatar. Yes, but at a point it stops being Avatar pretty quickly. At a point, I don't. I guess we'll do spoilers in a bit, but at a point when they involve a certain body, the biggest criticism that this movie has gotten, number one, I want to address it, is that it is wall to wall millennial humor, and it is absolutely wall to wall millennial humor. Like I was thinking about it this morning, I was like, I watched a movie that was
Describe for the audience what millennial humor is.
just like really dry. The biggest millennial joke you'll ever do is ridiculous thing. Draw attention to ridiculous thing. Point out how so like the best example of a millennial joke in this movie is early on. I don't know. Yeah, this is part of the premise of it, so it's not really that much of a spoiler. But the big plot of this movie is there's a pond or whatever, a little gully that the main character loves.
I think it's a pond,
It's a
technically.
pond, yeah, that she loves because her grandma took her there when she was a kid, and so she's trying to bring the animals back from
To protect it from development, from real estate
yeah,
development.
to get the animals to come back. So she discovers that in order to do that, and I'm pretty sure this is a thing, in real life. I think they did the research on this because I'm pretty sure this is a thing. But they need to get a beaver back because the beaver is a particular kind of like an
Just
anchor species.
one specific, like one or not specific, one beaver, just and
Yeah.
that will solve all of the problems.
Yeah, because to my knowledge, that's a thing. That beavers are a like an anchor species or something. They had a term for it in this movie, but I can't remember what it actually is. But it's what it's presented as, where the ecosystem relies on them blocking that dam, and once they block that river, then all the rest of the species will all come back. Is the idea, and that to my knowledge is a real thing. That's in fact some of the funnier moments in the movie, where like the beavers make the same noises that beavers make in real life, which is like I don't know how to describe it other than like this really hilarious, pathetic little whine. If I can put it in the video, I will. but they're so funny. They make the funniest little noises. It's them and otters. Like they make these pathetic little whines, and they're always funny. So there's a bit where the premise of the movie happens. She gets put into the beavers, and she's trying to figure into the body of the beaver, and she's trying to figure out where the animals went, and the
why
people,
they left as well.
The people can see like through the robot beaver's eyes, and the one guy is like, wait, why is he? Where did he get a crown? And the other person goes, really? That's your question?
That's your main concern?
Yeah, that's your main question. That's an example of millennial humor. Okay, I guess we're gonna have to bounce around on this. From now on, it's good. Okay, it's a good movie, especially if you have a millennial sense of humor. It's funny, it's cute. That's the non-spoiler version.
And your kid will probably enjoy it, considering we were in a theater full of kids.
And the kids fucking loved it.
And the kids fucking loved it. They were having a great time.
They thought it was super funny. There's a couple points where it gets kind of slow and they got kind of bored. We're gonna talk about it. But because there are some twists in this that are really fun. Like,
and I don't want to spoil
I don't want to
them.
give them. I feel like saying that there is a twist gives away the fact there is a twist. But there's a great third act turn that is really fun. And there's a moment in this that is really dark, like really dark. But it's
surprisingly dark.
Because I have a dark sense of humor. It's really funny. So anyway, they eventually
click off the video now if you want to miss all of this.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Go watch it. Spend your money. It's worth it. It's worth an afternoon at the movie theaters.
Come back in about 10-15 minutes when we've moved on.
So there's a point where they introduced, and these characters are in the trailer, but it's the Council of Animals that all
which are the different areas of nature.
The different areas of nature. So you've got the
air,
bug king,
insects.
You've got the insect king. You've got the fish king.
The frog.
You've got the amphibian king.
The reptiles.
The snake queens, who are a hydra basically of 3 different snakes, which is funny. That's funny. But that she goes to them to get them to help them stop the mayor from developing this area of the woods or whatever. And
for his I don't even understand what it's supposed to do.
It's a useless freeway that connects the city back to the city in a big loop.
Yeah,
that's the joke.
Well,
it's a completely useless piece of road. But it's somehow is going to get him reelected because he's just a really
he's just a really likable guy.
That's a huge spoiler. Is that he just turns out he's just a good guy. Like he's just a nice guy that everyone loves. Like, and there's just really
who is a little self-centered in the way that all humans are, but wasn't like malicious.
Yeah, his intent wasn't malicious, and like if you put it like into like, okay, he's a person. What he did was, he displaced these animals, but he did so non-harmfully. He did so in a way that didn't negatively impact the environment and didn't cause any undue harm to the animals, apart from being mildly annoying.
I wouldn't say that it didn't do any undue harm to the environment, insofar of the fact that you had too many animals in one area and they would die.
But its immediate effect wasn't like pesticides or poisonous.
Yeah. It was one of the more humane ways.
Yeah. But I just love the twist that he's just a decent guy. But yeah, they introduced this council of animals. And they're all really funny, but there's a bit where she's like, they decide basically that in order to prevent him from doing this bad thing, she convinces
they're gonna squish him.
They're gonna kill him. Basically, they're gonna squish him and kill him. And while they're pleading, she kills the insect queen, which is a butterfly.
The monarch butterfly.
She smushes
which in and of itself is a funny joke. She's the queen and she's a monarch butterfly. That's a funny joke that some people might not get. But no, like she keeps like going in on her, like being like basically like you're a cat, like scaredy cat, yada yada yada. And she's squish.
And it's the beat. They take an extra long beat for you to like absorb the fact that this really dark thing just happened. That's millennial humor. That's a millennial joke. That like this movie's sense of humor reminded me a lot, and that's either gonna deter you or not deter you. It reminded me a lot of Rick and Morty. Like a lot, like the moment I knew I was in was there's a once they decide that they're gonna squish the mayor. There's a bit where there's a bunch of seagulls. It was seagulls, right? And they lift up this
I think they were seagulls.
great white shark who's flying along the side of the car and is like, "Hey there!"
And then she has like the most
Oh my God, it
PR,
was
like the
so
most
funny.
like customer service voice
Yeah,
ever.
hi there. We're gonna have a great
Hi there,
swish
we're gonna have a
today.
great time. We're gonna squish them real good.
She drops her into the
You
water.
I need you guys to just get off the vehicle, and I'm gonna squish them real
We're
nice
just
and
gonna
easy.
get on with this, right? We're getting on with this now. It's just like, I need you to know you're being very unprofessional right now. It's so funny. It's so. I was like, oh, that's it. This movie's brilliant. Like this movie's brilliant. It's like, but it's like it's not. I would say it definitely rides the line. I didn't find it to be like 90s era environment. Like there are certain people online who have been like, this is like environmentalist, liberal, woke, blah 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 blah. But it's like,
I mean,
it's
I don't think it goes over the top
it's
with
not
it.
like peak
I don't think it,
1990s.
yeah,
That's when
but
I think of like preachy environmentalism. You guys think both of the 80s
I
and 90s? You don't
definitely,
know.
I definitely see it. Like I definitely, yes, there is a message there. And it wants you like yes, I just think it does it well. Like
Yeah.
it's not like, for example, um, and this is a very specific thing, but for me, it's not like it's like the Lorax where in one breath,
Yes.
it's not like it's
Exactly.
like the Lorax where in one breath
Exactly.
they're trying to like beat you over the head with this lesson, but then in the next breath, the Lorax is selling you a car or like a
Yes. See,
so like
when we were making comparisons yesterday, and you were like the wild robot, I'm like, nah, that just doesn't. The Lorax is a much better comparison.
no,
That's
I meant it was like the wild robot insofar of the fact of it wasn't beating you over the head.
yeah, yeah.
I'm saying yeah, that's a comparison of a good one that I
Yeah,
think it's
like
similar
that.
to.
This is a much. That's a much. Yeah, exactly. That's what this is like the anti-Lorax. Where it
Yeah,
doesn't. It's not
this is
preaching
not
to
the
you about.
Lorax. It's not preaching, but like yes, there is a lesson
It's
there. There's a
asking.
lesson to be learned.
It's
But
asking
it's
one guy to change his behavior. Not. It's not preaching at humanity to change their behavior. It's being like this
yeah,
one guy made a mistake, and
this one guy
sure,
is pushing
he
a
only
thing which
learned
is
about it because
bad.
he could talk to the ant. Also, like some of the rules got. Look, it's not a perfect movie. Like some of the rules got to be a bit confusing. Like at one point, she's got the earpiece, which seems to allow her to talk to the animals as well as the robots.
Well,
Which
it's
was
yeah. Well,
confusing.
no, the reason why that it does is because it's going through the robot. The robot can understand the animals, and it's picking like that headset is supposed to
Okay.
be picking up what the
Like
robot
okay.
is picking up, basically.
Okay, all right, okay. That does make a sense of my. And it's like
And
they're
so then
trying to do the like.
it's not so much that it's translating what they're saying because by what it appears the animals can always understand the humans, it's the humans that
Yeah,
can't understand the
yeah.
animals, so the headset just lets them hear what they're
It
saying
tries to do
through the
that.
robot.
It tries to do that thing early on where it's like, um, when she's talking to the human, that the animals are just regular animals, and the anthropomorphization is happening when she's in the animal world. But then I'm like, I that's what you said. Oh, that's just because that's what they see. And then it's like no, but the humans see him wearing a crown, so clear. Like there's the bit at the end where they put the crown
Yeah, but
on his head.
they don't see the humanness of the faces,
No,
they
but they
still
see that
just
he's
see
wearing a
animal.
crown.
Right, but I'm
That's what
saying
I'm
they don't
saying.
see the humanness of his face.
There.
He's just a random beaver
Who
who is wearing a crown.
seemingly just wearing a crown for some reason, or like yeah, there's a lot of like they want to be like oh no, the animals aren't anthropomorphic when they're amongst themselves, but they very much are anthropomorphic. So it doesn't I guess part of the millennial humor of it explains some things without explaining others. Like it draws attention to the surrealness of it, but doesn't explain it. That's a millennial
Yeah, but
thing.
I don't think it needs to. That's kind of part of
But
the joke.
you're right. It doesn't, and that is part of the joke. But it also makes it kind of a weak screenplay, and so like that.
I disagree.
My biggest thing with this, it did remind me a lot of Elio. Because
I haven't seen that. I can't speak to that.
it has a lot of similar beats to Elio, and also
I suppose I'll get back to you on that next week.
Coco. It also reminded me of Coco, where it's like a kid who gets pulled into extraordinary circumstances from their regular circumstances, or like a young adult.
Kind of, I guess.
So, in my opinion, this is really slow. It takes them just a hair too. I was trying to work out how long it was. I think it was an hour and 45. I don't think it was quite 2 hours, but it takes it too long for it to get to the robot beavers. There's it does a thing.
Beaver.
Well, robot animals if you prefer. It takes too long to get to the hopping part of it. Like it felt like the beginning part. It does a thing where like it
I
doesn't.
don't agree. According to Google, its running time is 1 hour 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I think if it was if it was an hour and a half, it would be too short.
yeah, yo, for sure, for sure. No, I'm not saying it needs to be longer. I'm just saying that
I think
opening.
it needs to have that opening bit
It's
where
too
you set
long.
up the no, it needs to have that there so that it like it sets up why she is the way she is and why she does
Yeah,
what
but
she's
then they keep
doing.
going back. Like my problem with it is it takes too long to get to the reason why you showed up, and then it does a lot of dipping back to like, in my opinion, kind of redundant flashbacks.
Oh no, I will agree with. I will say I don't think we needed to flash back as often as we do. In fact, I think we could have cut out 2 or 3 of those, cut back to
Absolutely.
her and her feeling sad, and we could have replaced them with how did she meet the doctor?
Right.
Like
Well, the doctor's
like
her
like I know she's her, but like we just
her
all of a sudden like they have a really tight bond.
she's in her class. That's where.
Yes, I get that, but how, like we don't see any development there. It's just
Yeah,
all of a
yeah.
sudden she's close enough that she
Because
like
it's like
it just
they do the, oh, it implies that the grandma died, and you're like, okay, that's sad, that's a bummer, and then they just flat out show you the scene. So it's like, well, it just feels like you had that scene and you just moved it.
shuffled it.
Yeah, it was originally supposed to be there as part of the transition to her being an adult, and you just moved it. Like it's really
You didn't want your
yeah,
opening to
makes
you didn't want your opening to just be up and
yeah,
be
pretty
sad.
much. It's just like the pacing is really kind of slow for a Pixar movie. Like most Pixar movies, it's usually you're like pretty well right. Even Toy Story, like you're like right in it. And yeah, that's the only one which I would argue is maybe paced as slow as this, but it works for that movie. Is Up. Up has a slow pace. It does take.
I thought it worked. I thought it worked just fine for this one
there was
personally. I didn't have that issue. I didn't feel like I
There
was
was-
there going like, "Oh my God, why isn't this movie ending?"
No. I'm it's really just that beginning. Like I would tighten that beginning bit by half.
I
cut it,
well,
slice it right.
my,
in
my
half.
my thing is that I don't think that it would have been necessary if they didn't keep cutting back
Maybe
to that.
perhaps my opinion would be different, but like there was a point when she was like, it's really it's not so much the her as a kid part of it. It's the like the lead up to her getting the beavers, where it's like, okay, we've done the flashback of her growing up with the grandma, and then it's like, and then she's arguing with the mayor, and then it's like I'm like, oh my God, when are we gonna get to the? And then once they finally do get to the beavers bit, I'm like, okay, now this is starting to move, this is starting to groove, but yeah, the beginning is just too slow for a Pixar movie in particular. It's too slow.
That's
It's-
where we're gonna have to agree to
I'm like,
disagree.
there's a
I
point
think
where I'm like, oh my God,
I
like,
think
let's get
that's
to the robot beavers.
I think that's an example of the current modern TikTok age has dulled your brain so you can't sit still for too long because
No, absolutely not.
I didn't find that it was that
because
slow.
Elio is a scene shorter for that, and then that way you get to focus more on his relationship. Like then we could have had more with like you said, with her and the teacher, or with her. Like I say, from like I would I don't know, shorten that opening sequence of her and the grandma, or shorten the sequence of her like leading up to the beavers. Like I say, most Pixar movies, like again, Monsters Inc. It's within the like first 5 minutes that where we have Boo or Cars. He's in Radiator Springs within the first 5 to 10 minutes. This felt like it was like 20 minutes, and we still weren't. Yeah,
no, that's where we're just gonna have to agree to disagree because I didn't think I don't feel that way.
Yeah. I was like, "Where's the robot beavers? Get to the robot beavers already!" That's what I signed up for. It kind of felt like, yeah, if I went to Avatar and there was a great deal more of Jake Sully on Earth, like comparatively, there was an extra 30 minutes of Jake, I'd be like, ugh, okay, this is not what I signed. But yeah, beyond that, it's funny. It's funny. It's
I
clever,
enjoyed
it's
it.
cute.
I had a good time with this movie.
The ending was.
I
Cute.
would watch it again.
I would. I
I don't think there needs to be a sequel.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't think there will be. I really don't. I don't think there's enough
Like
recognizable.
I loved it. I had a
IP
great
in
time
there.
with movie. I had a really good time with this movie. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good outing, but I'm kind of just coming to the opinion that there doesn't always need to be a sequel.
To me, it's whether or not there will be. Whether or not they're need is redundant to me now. There's no point in having that discussion because whether or not there needs to be or not, if it's a popular enough IP,
It's not a needless discussion.
yeah, it is because it's gonna happen.
No, it's
whether or
not.
If a thing is popular, whether or not it needs it or not is irrelevant because it's gonna happen.
It's not irrelevant. It's a discussion that should be had.
But in this case, the question isn't so much of will it happen is this will this be a success? It's gonna depend on how well it does. I haven't heard what it's tracking for in terms of money. I don't think it's gonna do Toy Story numbers, but is it gonna do better than Elio? I don't know. Pixar's been kind of having a rough way because the last few movies have been okay at best.
Yeah, but it has the benefit of currently there's nothing else really in theaters, so it has that going for it.
Not for kids, no. The only thing out there right now, and apparently it's doing well, is Scary Movie 7. But
That's not for kids.
yeah, for kids, what else is it's tough because we don't have a real theater, so it's hard to actually know what
Yes, we do. I watched this in theaters. What are you talking about?
It's like a tiny four theater that like it's not like a Colossus where you could determine actual.
It has
box
like eight.
office.
It has like 8 theaters. What are you talking
It's
about?
got like five theaters.
No, it doesn't.
It's not. It does not have that many theaters. So usually,
Yes, it does.
Usually, it gets like one kids movie, and then the rest of it is like the adult movies, and then it gets one Indian movie. That's usually how our theater works. So it's not like a Colossus where like you're getting like, if it comes down to this versus a DreamWorks movie, it's probably going to get this. So it's not a fair measure of success by being like our theater was really slow because that means nothing.
Cineplex Abbotsford has 11 auditoriums.
I
So
was closer than you were.
you were not close with 6. I said 8.
I mean, it's still a tiny theater. It's nothing. It's a teeny tiny theater that nobody goes to. Is the point?
Yeah, but you're making it out to be smaller than it is.
It's like
so.
one hallway. worth of
So?
theaters. It's not that big.
With 11 theaters, that's more than the 6 you were saying.
the
You were
teeny-
making it out to be half the size that it
It's
is.
still a tiny theater. That's the point. You're arguing semantics. The point was it's a tiny theater that nobody goes to. So it's not a metric as to judge how busy a movie is.
Well, I mean, it's reasonably sized for the city we live in. Anyways, not the point. The movie was good. People should go watch it. There shouldn't be a sequel.
Ooh, again, should or should not be is not really.
It doesn't need a sequel.
Again, need or not need is not really the question. The question is will
Yes,
or
it is
won't.
the question.
The
No, the question is no. It's not about will or won't.
It is about will or won't.
No, it's not.
It's about will this IP. Hey man, you could hate the cynicism of it, but it's the truth. It's about, do you think this IP will land with the kids? And the question is, I don't know. The Beavers are kind of cute. There's nothing really.
I miss when Pixar had the rule that they didn't do sequels. I
Right?
miss that time.
But like that's so like it to me is like, is this gonna be like a Minions, or is this IP gonna blow up enough that they make a sequel?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I agree with you. I don't think it will. Like I'm
okay with.
I think Elio probably of the more recent ones.
I can't speak. I haven't seen that.
Has probably the most chance of landing in a merchandising. So I guess the question of like whether or not there should be is there enough merchandising opportunity here? And they're really trying. They're pushing for it.
I hate that that's the metric. That's pathetic.
You hate it or you don't hate it. That's the metric.
I do hate it. I hate that that's the metric. The metric should not be by how many fucking toys or shit we can sell for it. The metric should be, does the story warrant a sequel? And the answer is no. The story does not warrant a sequel.
That's always been the metric though. Is how much merchandise the children will buy. Will this?
Yeah, but I'm not a child, so I'm not talking about it in that way. I won't do it.
Will this sell toys at Disneyland?
We are a film discussion podcast where we talk about the movies and stuff. So I'm going to talk about the story because that's what we're here to talk about. And from a story standpoint, no, I don't think that there should be a sequel. I think it has a good, solid story which resolves itself, and anything that follows would just be pedantic.
I don't agree. I could watch a sequel to this where there's various it's basically them creating various technology that they use to interact with nature. Like and they're like
I'm
they're
good.
like an agency.
I'm happy with what we got.
Whether or not I'm good or not, I could go either way. If they don't ever make another one of these, I'm
I don't
fine.
think. I don't think. I don't think there needs to be a
fine with
sequel.
that. If they do make another one of these, I'll go watch it. I'll support it. I like this one enough to watch a sequel, and I would if it existed. I don't know. To me, pretending that you're better than a thing, when you're like, hey, if the story's good,
I'm not
and the
pretending
story's-
that I'm better than a thing. I don't think that it needs a sequel.
Yeah, but if it works,
I think that it's a fantastic movie which should be allowed to stand on its own two
Sure,
length without being beaten into the ground with 5 sequels.
I don't. Again, whether or not I agree with that, sure. That's ultimately I don't disagree. But what I'm saying is, were they to make one, I'd watch it. I'd watch it for fun. I'm not gonna be like, no, turn my nose up at this. And
I mean,
hate
no,
its very
I watch movies for this. Of course, I would end up watching it.
I would definitely watch it.
But no, to me, it depends on how good it is. It depends on what they write, and it depends on the story.
It all
But
depends on the
as I'm
story.
saying, all I'm saying is that as the story ends right now, I don't think it needs to have a sequel.
No, I don't think it will. To be fair, I don't think it will. I just don't. I don't see this hitting the kids in the way that.
No, not like a Toy Story
Not like they're just.
or Minions.
No, there isn't a latchable character here that the kids will latch onto. But to be fair, I think with Pixar, there's sometimes where they're not looking to do that. Like I think Inside Out is the franchise, the next franchise. I think that is the franchise that hit with the kids. That is on T-shirts and they're making it into toys and is merchandisable, and they'll make 2 or 3 more of. And then I think that allows them to do these little in between movies like this or like Turning Red, for example, where they can do whatever they want, and that's what this is. This is like, hey, let me just let the guys who made this do whatever they want, and they did, and it works. And yeah, do I think no? I think maybe like, hey, a spiritual successor or sequel where it's like made by the same people, has the same energy, maybe takes place in the same world, but isn't like a direct sequel. Like, why can't we tell more? That's the thing that frustrates me about people's attitude towards movies and being. Like they shouldn't make sequels. Well, who says it needs to be a sequel? Why can't it just be another story? Like a great example. I mean, we grew up loving Ender's Shadow, where it's, hey, that's just another story told in the same universe. Isn't really. I mean, that's technically a sidequel, but you get my point. I couldn't think of a better example, but you get my point. Where it's like, hey, I'd be okay with like, yeah, it takes place in the Hopper's world and it's about the talking dog collars, which is clearly just a reference to Up. But like, that's the next movie, and it just happens to take place in the same world and. Maybe Peggy.
I mean, if I was going to do something like that, and I mean, maybe this kind of takes away the point, but to me, any sequel, you remove the human characters, just flat, full stop, and you have it just be you just have it be about the animals.
See what okay, if I were to do a sequel to this, which I wouldn't, but if I were to do it, I would add 2 elements. I don't know what the story would be, but no, I disagree. The humans being the breaking down the communication between animal and human is a very integral part of this movie. So no, you can't cut out humans. I mean,
if I had been them and I was planning on there being a sequel, they wouldn't have ended it with them losing the funding for the Hopper technology. They would have gotten a boost in funding, and I would have had it be where in the second one there's more of the robots, different kinds of robots, different animals, and I would have gone further in on it.
So now the sequel to this is the good program got shut down, but now the bad program has gotten set. I'm not saying it, but now the bad guys have their own version of the program. And what I would do is you have the humans, an evil human and an evil animal team up, and now it's a team up, and then I don't know, something where
to me that feels so done. Like, it's done. It's been done.
I mean,
it was in Secret Life of Pets where we had evil animals who were trying to do that.
Again, only six stories in the world, my friend. Sometimes there's going to be some overlap and some repetition. It's just the only reason why you now notice that is because you watch so much stuff.
But I just think that like sometimes if you take a story which was good and you continue to do things like that and add on things like that, it weakens the original product.
I mean, if it's good, and not if they're doing something
yes, it does.
Yeah, if you it used to be like you only did sequels when there was something worth talking about, or there was something.
Yeah, I know, that's my point.
So if they have something that they want to
say,
so
ultimately you're saying what I'm saying.
Yeah,
which is a sequel. Yes, you are. Which is a sequel should only be made if there's a point to it being made.
Yeah, but you're
not
saying-
just for this, not just for the sake of selling toys and selling things
but-
to make
No,
it.
but you're saying that there shouldn't be a sequel. I'm saying
I'm saying in this instance, I don't think there needs to be a sequel. I'm not saying I never once said there shouldn't necessarily be a sequel. I don't think there should be one. But if they have a good story to tell that is not pedantic and doesn't feel lazy,
I think you're using the word pedantic wrong.
I think you're using the word pedantic wrong.
I'm pretty sure, entirely sure you're using the word pedantic wrong.
Point being that no, in this instance, in this specific instance, I think that this one movie is good. It has a good ending. There does not need to be something added on to this.
Yeah, again, need is an irrelevant word to me, because whether or not there needs to be or not,
Should be. I don't think there should be.
I could
Do you
say
prefer
there
if I
doesn't
say it
need
that?
to be, but
No, I don't think there needs to be. I think that it is a mistake to do that.
But that, when it comes to movie making, I no longer take that attitude, because it's
I'm not going to stop. So
it's-
it's an irrelevant thing for you to say.
it's mostly pointless, because whether or not I feel that they need to make something, I mean, I don't know. I like this universe, so sure. Do I think that they don't need to? No. Does that mean they shouldn't? No. Should they should, if they have a good idea for one.
Yes,
and
and that's I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, they shouldn't do a Despicable Me where they do another one just to keep the trend going and keep them in the popular zeitgeist,
not-
just so they can make more money. That's my point.
It's not that
I
kind of
don't
movie.
want. I don't. Sure, but you again. That's my point. If you have a good story to tell, or if you prefer to bring it to Pixar, don't do it. Don't be a Toy Story. Don't just keep making those and shelling those out so you can keep selling the Woody doll.
They don't. I say again. I don't have to get to a discussion about Toy Story, but that's not what Toy Story does, though. Toy
Yes,
Story,
it is. At this point,
those come out like every 5 years at best. So it's like,
yes, and they keep putting them out just so they can keep selling their toys.
Putting them out imply that is such a disingenuous implication, because they just keep putting them out. Yeah, but it's not like they're putting out a new one every year. They come out every 5 years, and they take their time, and they actually put craftsmanship into them. It's not like they're just churning out a new Toy Story.
But they're not
thing every
they're
year.
not doing it out of I don't think they're doing it out of at this point
but
on
no
the
one
fifth
does
one. I don't think they're doing it out of artistic integrity.
But no one does anything.
They're doing it just to make money.
Yeah, but everyone does that stuff to make money. That's a disingenuous thing to say, because it's like everyone does something to make money. That's obviously
No, they don't do it. Some of these people don't do it just to make money.
Not at that level. At that level, you're doing it to make money. It's
Yeah, but they're not doing it just to make money.
If they were churning out a Toy Story thing every year, and like
We're gonna agree to disagree on this till the day we die.
I
think they've sold out in terms of Toy Story.
What does that even mean?
I think
though?
it means that they're not making it to make it for the fans anymore. They're making it to make money.
No one ever made it to make it for that's a really possessive.
You're wrong.
I'm not.
You are.
That movie that franchise has been commercialized since it's about toys. That franchise at its core is about selling toys to children.
We're getting away from the point of hoppers though, and my point was always that as it stands, I think what the movie we got was good. And I don't think we need to have a sequel.
Again, yeah, I will always
I
say
just
that
don't.
is a redundant thing to say, because it's need or not need. If there's a but to be fair,
Justin, this podcast isn't about what I think is going to happen. This podcast, people come here to hear what we think. And I think there shouldn't be a sequel. Whether that's redundant for me to say or not, it doesn't change. It doesn't change. That's what Jordan, the incomparable Jordan, half of the podcast that people come here to listen to.
Yes, I get
that's
it.
what I think.
I get it. I know. I get it. I get what you're saying.
Then stop wasting your time saying it's redundant. Who cares?
Redundant. It is redundant.
Who cares?
Because if Disney finds inherent value in the IP and the property, then
what are we doing here, Justin?
Whether or not
what are you and I doing here talking about things if we're not giving our opinions?
I never said to not give your opinion. I just said it was a redundant.
You're telling me
opinion.
my opinion is redundant and insulting me.
It is redundant. Whether or not it needs.
All right, then skip it. Next.
Hold on. Whether or not it needs to or not.
Not hold on. Skip it. Next.
If there's
you don't want me to say my shit.
Would you just let me? If there's value in the property, then Disney will. Whether or not it needs to or not, Disney will. That's all I'm saying. Like,
Who cares? That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about our opinions and our
I
thoughts.
know. That's
My
me.
thought is they shouldn't.
I know. I get that. You've
All right, then
repeatedly,
skip it. Next.
You've repeatedly stated that. I'm just saying, if there is value in the property, then they will. That's all I'm saying.
I don't care about that, Justin.
No, but
That's not what we're talking
That
about.
is what we're talking about.
No, we're
though.
not. We're talking about what we think about the movie. And my thoughts are it is a good solo movie. There doesn't need to be a sequel.
I know. And
I don't
agree.
care if that's redundant or not. You don't need to fucking point that out.
I don't.
Who cares? That's not what people come here to ask what we think. Not about what we think, like what the big companies get. Of course, they're gonna keep shelling shit out for money. That doesn't mean they should.
I mean, shouldn't? They're gonna.
That's what people are coming here to ask.
They're gonna. But
Okay, whatever.
the question is, do you think they will?
No, in this instance, I don't think it's I don't think it's a shellable thing.
That's the
No,
question.
that's not the question.
That is
matters.
the question. Is this a shell? Is this a shellable thing? And I agree with you. I don't think it is. I don't think it's a shellable thing, because I just don't think that this is going to catch on with the mainstream as much as it does with us, because we have a strange sense of humor.
Mhm.
Okay, fine, we'll move on. I don't understand why you've gotten so upset, but that's okay. We'll move on. We'll move on to the news. I don't know what I said to offend you, but
What you said that offended me was that what I think is redundant.
I said what you said.
What I think is not what I think is not
I
redundant.
said what you said is redundant. There's a difference. You're nitpicking.
No, there's not. There's not a difference.
Yes, what you said, because what the redundant part of what you, maybe if I explain what I mean, the redundant part of what you said is whether or not it needs to happen or should happen. The redundant part is if it was going to happen, it would happen. So the part of it that's
yes, but it shouldn't.
so it's sort of like saying
that's the point.
It's sort of like saying there doesn't need to be another Minions movie. No, but there is going to be another Minions movie. So saying that there doesn't need to be is yes, obviously there doesn't need to be, but we're here. There's gonna be, so we're here talking about it. So we might as well enter a world where it might happen. That's what I'm saying. Is it's Disney. If there were a chance that it was going to happen, it will happen. So my point is,
but we're talking about what we think about this movie, and what I think about this movie is there doesn't need to be a sequel.
Right. But my point is, sure, that I understand, and I don't think there will be. But what I'm saying is
whether there will or won't be, whether Disney is going to or not going to, is not what I'm saying. I'm just saying my thoughts and opinions on it. So the fact that you then say that it's redundant.
It is redundant.
All right, then my opinions are redundant. Then why should I bother saying that?
I said what you've said is redundant.
Why should I bother saying it then?
In this particular instance, need is not really in the case of a big IP like this, need is not. No, you're right. It doesn't need to happen. None of this needs to happen. That's what I'm saying. Is the question is not.
I don't think it should happen.
To me, that the interesting point of the discussion is not. I know you don't think it should happen. The question for me is, do you think it will? That's what I'm getting at. That's the part of it. Like, yes, I get that you think it shouldn't.
I mean, the answer is entirely dependent on how much money they make off of it.
Yeah, that's sorry. That's
because
that's
the society that we live in.
Clarify.
Is entirely based on fucking capitalism, and I'm sorry, I get tired of talking. Yes, obviously, we know that if it makes money, they will. If the ship will float, they will build it. Like, yes, obviously.
I mean,
like, I get that, but that's not what I enjoy about talking about here. I enjoy talking about the artistic aspects of it, about whether it should be made, about whether there is something there to continue on with. That's what I enjoy talking about.
Oh,
I don't care. I don't care about whether Disney is going to or not going to. If it sells money, they will. That is a empirical fact that we don't need to talk about, because that's just how the world works. We know how the world works. I want to talk about whether you think it should happen.
No, I mean,
I find that way more interesting.
Quite okay. See,
Also, thank you, Word 7893. I'm sure the thumbnail looks very good. They said they love the thumbnail.
oh, well, thank you. That's very nice. Thank you. Thank you. That was very nice of you to say. Yeah.
Sorry, we're getting very heated.
It's just. I'll wrap it up. I promise. It's just so fascinating to me because like. I don't just psychologically. I just don't see a point in being like there's no point because the question of yes, I always want to see more from. I always want to see a story. Fundamentally, I want to see the story continue because I'm interested to see where the story would continue. I never want to stifle creativity. So I don't want to say I don't think a creative exercise should exist because it should always exist. If you have an idea for Hoppers 2, you should make it. And every creative person, whether or not it's coming from any level of corporate cynicism, always has an idea that they want to express. And I believe that creativity in any format should never be stifled. So I will never say something shouldn't exist, ever, flat out, full stop. I always believe that the exercise should be had, unless the exercise involves, you know my line. To answer your question there. So fundamentally, I will always say no. Hoppers 2 should exist fundamentally because if a person has an idea for Hoppers 2, then they should be allowed to make it. That's my point.
Okay, that's fair. I was simply saying that in this instance, I don't think there needs to be a sequel. Now that doesn't mean that I don't think there couldn't be a sequel.
That's fair.
There is
We'll
absolutely.
give
You and I, after watching it, you and I walked out going like, so if there was a sequel,
Yeah.
how do you think we could do it? Like, yes, I think it could be done.
That's where I never want to say there shouldn't be a sequel to a thing. Well, to me
Depends on how it ends.
To me, the question is never should or shouldn't. It's always to me can or can't. That I guess maybe that's how I would put it. Like, can you make a sequel to this? And yes, you could.
In this instance, yes, I think you could.
Sometimes
but I
you
don't,
can't.
But I don't necessarily think that they should.
Or in the case of a bad movie, sometimes you should. There we go. We've talked about Hoppers too long. Hopefully that's a sufficiently long video. Hopefully that pushed it out to a solid 20-minute video for my.
Depends on if you include our little spat.
Nah, it was a strong disagreement. Hey there, everybody. It's N-Card Justin here. Let me know down in the comments. Have you seen Hoppers? Are you gonna go take your kids to watch Hoppers? Do you think there should be a sequel to Hoppers? Let me know what you're thinking about Hoppers down in the comments down below. But in the meantime, if you would like to see the full podcast that this is from, our Razzie special, click the box on the left. Or if you just want to see a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. Or you can just leave this video a like. That helps us out too. We'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day, everybody.